Hello, my name is Melissa Caballero. I am 23 years old. I am the daughter of Raúl Caballero and Patricia Guerra. I have two siblings, Raúl, who is 21, and Salma, who is 17. My parents are originally from Monterrey, Nuevo León. They moved to the United States after their wedding because they wanted a better life for their children. They came with a few $100s and things they had from home. At first, it was extremely difficult for them. They had no clue how they would make a living in a new country. My mom says my grandma would send them groceries because they couldn't afford them. Eventually, they found a place to live with my aunt and found a way to bring things from Monterrey to sell from their trunk of their car on the side of the road. They would buy Mexican goods and sell them in the United States and were able to get through for a while, but not enough to support a family. My dad really enjoyed to cook, so they asked my grandparents for a loan to open a Mexican restaurant. This is how my parents started, and since then have never stopped progressing in life. They are very hardworking and always look for opportunities to get better and bigger. They struggled and worked hard so that they could provide for me and my siblings without having to worry about having a place to live, clothes on our back, and food on our table. Now my parents own two companies that fortunately are doing really well. My parents are proof that you don't necessarily have to have a college degree to succeed in life, but a good work ethic. Because of them and their character, I am who I am today. They are the perfect example of who I want to be in life and how I want to live my life. My mom's kindness and generosity and my dad's work ethic is what motivates me in life and look forward to my future. One of the biggest struggles I've ever dealt with was facing my depression and anxiety. I experienced my first panic anxiety attack my freshman year in high school. Not only was I fortunate enough to have the support of my family, but of my teachers as well. I am aware that it is more common nowadays for students to be diagnosed with a mental illness like anxiety, depression, bipolar, or ADHD. At least 1 in every 5 school-aged children are affected by a mental health condition. As someone who lives with a mental illness, I know it is not easy, especially while in school. While not all mental illnesses directly affect students' academic or school functioning, many do, and teachers and schools can help. As adults, we're constantly comparing ourselves to others, and I can only imagine kids work the same. It's tough, but I want to ensure that all of my students feel comfortable, accepted, and loved in my classroom, as my teachers did for me. I think it is important to talk about mental health in the classroom and talk about the importance of asking for help. I want to create a learning environment where my students trust me and feel comfortable enough to talk to me or ask for help. Since my first panic attack, my struggle with school has become more apparent. Being in a closed area for so long, surrounded by a lot of people, being seated for a long period of time, preparing for a test or exam, being called up to present and turning bright red are all things I've dealt with, and I know other students do as well. I've dealt with all of these and more, and I want to make my classroom different and more enjoyable. I think providing students with enough time and freedom to play indoors and outdoors, a positive learning environment, encouraging students to support each other, providing students with resources, giving students breaks, etc., are all ways to create a school environment that supports mental health. I was fortunate enough to have parents and teachers that cared about me and my well-being, and I understand not everyone has a support system at home, but I would love for my students to know that they have their teacher and their peers. My parents are examples of how I want to be with my own children and students someday. My mom in particular is the most kind, open-minded, caring, and understanding person I know, and that is what I strive to be every day. One of the most important things I've learned while battling a mental illness is that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, and things do get better. And I hope one day I'm able to pass what I've learned to my students. I will ensure that all of my students know that they are not alone and they can succeed even while battling a mental illness. Thank you.